And this is a Fox News alert. At the same time those migrants are lining up the U.S. border, the state of Texas is launching a new lawsuit with 6 other states to force the Trump administration to end DACA, the Obama-era program that provided work permits to hundreds of thousands of young illegal immigrants. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton joins us now live. General, great to have you with us tonight.
Good evening from Texas.
Okay, so I think this is so interesting because you guys are suing the Trump administration to get rid of DACA. The Trump administration has been trying to get rid of DACA. 3 federal judges have stopped them thus far. There are numerous cases proceeding out there. How do you hope with your lawsuit to get something done that the administration hasn't been able to get done?
Well, we're hoping that a federal judge will rule correctly, as they did last time on our DAPA lawsuit, that what President Obama did was unconstitutional and unlawful, and therefore end DACA and force either Congress to act or not act, but it should not be done unilaterally by a president.
All right. The chair of the Texas Democratic Party had this to say in response to your lawsuit today. Paxton's cruel anti-immigration agenda will rip over 124,000 Texans away from their families and jeopardize our economy. The average age of DACA participants at the time they arrived in the U.S. is 6.5 years old. They should feel safe and accepted in the only country they know to be their home. Your response?
So this is a man that doesn't understand the U.S. Constitution. My job as Attorney General, which he should understand, is to enforce the law and make sure that the Constitution is followed. In this case, we have a president, President Obama, who acted outside of his authority. If we allow that to happen in one case, we lose the whole idea that our founders so deeply cared about, which was separation of powers, and that one person cannot make unilateral decisions for the rest of us.
Okay, so another state rep there in Texas, Rafael Anchia, says this: instead of wasting taxpayer funds to pick on these Americans, he's calling them Americans without status, the Attorney General should join the bipartisan chorus calling on Congress to fix a broken immigration system that denies these kids their rightful place at the American table. A lot of folks point out rightly they're not children now, most of them. It would be chronologically impossible based on the dates and who qualifies. But he says, listen, you should be using your voice to put pressure on Congress because they have tried and failed, even just in the last few months on a number of bipartisan potential solutions. They can't seem to get it together on the Hill.
Well, at least Rafael Anchia, Representative Anchia, got it right. This is up to Congress, and that's where he stopped short. It is up to Congress. It is not up to a president. And so, look, Congress has the authority. They have the sole authority to change the law. We can't allow a president of the United States to just unilaterally come in and change the law, and that's what happened here.
Okay, in the meantime, we've been covering for weeks now the story of the caravan and different groups of people that are coming to the border. They are going to be asking for asylum, many of them. How does this work in Texas when they show up at your border?
Well, it's challenging for us when you have this many people coming to the border at the same time. That's one of the unfortunate parts of how these immigration groups are operating. They're bringing a large number of people at the same time, which makes it a lot more difficult to process and creates all kinds of challenges for my state and obviously other states. So I would say that's the biggest challenge. I wish they would do this in a more methodical way, but here we are. We'll deal with it as we get it.
Well, and what about the fact that they travel, many of them are not from Mexico. They've traveled through Mexico to get to Texas. What role do Mexican authorities play in, we're told at times, making safe passage or escort for these caravans so they can get through Mexico and to the U.S.?
I think President Trump has said it right. It'd be nice if Mexico would guard their own border at the south, because obviously that would have an impact on our border. That obviously is not happening. Mexico is allowing these people to cross through their entire country, and then it ends up being a problem for us. So it is unfortunate that Mexico is not doing their job.
Well, and I know that you've been involved in a number of the cases of underage minors coming across and then seeking abortions in the U.S. too, and I know you've worried that that is a magnet for them as courts continue to order this administration to help facilitate that process. We'll keep an eye on that case and this new one today as well. Attorney General Paxton, great to have you with us.